Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Wednesday, middle of the week, hump day, I guess. Anyways, wanted to take you guys a couple minutes of your guys' time, and I heard a term the other day just listening to a Gary V podcast, and he used the term wantrepreneur. So that's somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur, but maybe for whatever reason isn't there yet. And I wanted to talk about what makes an entrepreneur. How is an entrepreneur somebody different than everybody else out there that maybe kind of aspires one day to run their own business or have the lifestyle. And I think nowadays we live in a world where it's like the hip and the sexy thing to and the cool thing to call yourself an entrepreneur. Probably the equivalent of back in the 70s or 80s, if you and some buddies got together in the garage and you could bang on some instruments, you were a rock star. Or in the 90s or the 2000s, if you could hold a mic, you were a rap star or whatever. And it seems that this day and age, everybody is an entrepreneur when you look at their Facebook profile, when scrolling through your Instagram newsfeed. But reality is it takes a lot more than just posting pictures of exotic cars or stacks of cash or mansions to call yourself an entrepreneur. And I was even reading an article just the other day. It was a company based in Moscow that it's a private jet company, and what they do to generate additional revenue when the planes aren't actually in use is they rent them out for photo shoots. So people that can't actually afford to fly a private jet, for $400 to $600 they can book a photo shoot on one of these planes, and they also get a fruit tray and a bottle of champagne with a poured glass that they can use during the photo shoot. And if that's a little bit more than somebody can afford, for like $250, they can not have the fruit tray, not have the champagne, but literally just get a picture of them looking out the window of a private jet to create the facade that they're living the life and that they've made it. But reality is, anybody that is an entrepreneur that has gone through the struggle knows there's more to it than that. And reality is, so many people these days, they want the lifestyle of or what they feel is the lifestyle of an entrepreneur. They see the jet setting, they see the the fancy cars, they see the amazing vacations, they see a life they aspire to have. But what they don't see is the struggle that got them to that point, the amount of risks they took, the amount of test trials and tribulations they went through along the way. And using example of one of my business mentors years and years ago, I worked for a company that he ran, and a very successful individual, ran multiple 8-9 figure businesses. But most people would just see his lifestyle. They would see the Porsches, the Audis, the Ferraris, the multiple homes, the safari vacations, the watches, the philanthropy, and they'd be like, oh, that's so awesome, like he's lucky. But what they don't see is early on in his business career, when he literally sold his car to get the money together to start his first business. They don't see that sacrifice. And that's the difference between entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs. Are the wantrepreneur wants the result. They want the testimony, but they don't want to go through the test. They're not willing to, make those sacrifices. They're not willing to work, 8-10 hours a day at a job and then, go and put in another 8 hours on their business. They don't want to, sell a bunch of their stuff to get the money together to be able to invest in the business, or to be able to invest in mentorship or coaching to take it to the next level. They're essentially, looking for, all the lights to be green before they even take action. They want guarantees. They want a safety net. They don't want to live on the no-name instant noodles and the no-name mac and cheese, and rent out every room in their house and live out of their tiny bedroom, or move back in with the parents, or whatever the case is, to make it happen. They don't want to give anything up to get that result. And the reality is, that's not the situation at all. The one thing that a true entrepreneur realizes is that the only safe bet is a bet on themselves. They're not, and whether you're somebody that's an aspiring entrepreneur that maybe currently you are working for, going to a job, and you have your side hustle going on, and you're building up something that eventually one day will replace your working income, so then you can focus on your business full time. The one thing entrepreneurs will always do is they'll always bet on themselves. They're not reliant on anybody. They're not looking for guarantees. They see a situation, and there's a lot of different ways people can make money these days. A lot of different styles of businesses that people can start, whether it's brick and mortar or more of an online business. But all an entrepreneur really needs is if they see somebody that has done it before, if they've seen somebody that has had success in that venture, that's proof enough to them that it can be done. Because if somebody did it before, they can do it for themselves. So reality is, and if you don't fit that mold, definitely not everybody is cut out for entrepreneurship. I remember times where my wife and I were literally transferring money from like credit card to pay those minimum payments, even times going to the grocery store that my wife wouldn't put produce, the rare handful of times when we were super struggling that we would buy that stuff. She wouldn't even put the fruit or the vegetables in the plastic bag for fear that it was going to weigh more and cost more. I remember countless times, friends of ours, and they didn't know the struggle we were going through, because we were, super struggling at the time as entrepreneurs. But, they would invite us out to dinner, and we would always show up and, just drink water. We had already eaten. We were full, even though we were probably starving at the time, but we weren't in a position to be able to afford that. But that was, the struggles we went through as, aspiring entrepreneurs. Eventually, those sacrifices paid massive dividends. But, going into entrepreneurship, you can't expect it to be easy. If you're looking for something that's easy, it's definitely not for you, because there's going to be tests and trials and struggles. And, there's going to be so many times that you want to quit and, retreat back to that safety net of that job, because when you show up to that job 40 hours a week, you're going to make your $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 a month, whatever it happens to be. But as an entrepreneur, you have an internal drive to create something of your own, be a master of your own destiny. So shout out to all the entrepreneurs there that are in the struggle, and kind of a call out to all the posers out there that are creating these lavish lifestyles that aren't really their own lifestyles. They haven't created anything of significance in their life or anybody else's life, and they essentially are conning people into this luxury lifestyle that they themselves haven't even created for themselves. So shame on those guys, but props to the people that are in the struggle, that are making the sacrifices, that are making it happen. Cheers, guys, and enjoy the rest of your week.